we're really excited today about our content. We have heard from a lot of you, and I know from my own experience as a former counselor, that you have students who are maybe not looking for a 2-year or a 4-year college. They might be looking for something more short-term, maybe more hands-on. And so we want to go over some of the resources that are available to you and students. And so we're bringing in some experts today. We have a really exciting group of people who are going to talk to you today about short-term training programs, apprenticeships, and then a program called Idaho Launch. Okay, just to do a little interaction, just to kind of kick it off and get your feedback. If what you'll see on your screen, there's a QR code, so you can either scan that if you want to do this on your phone, or you can just go to slido.com and then put in the number that you see on the screen, that 3281683, and it should take you to this question. So this is an active poll where we can see in real time how you're responding, but it is anonymous, so don't worry. We won't know it's you. So it looks like, just based on people who participated, that the majority of you feel most comfortable when it comes to advising students about college. Thank you so much for participating in that poll. So what we're going to do now is turn it over to our first panelist. Her name is Stephanie Hoff, and she is the Apprenticeship Program Senior Coordinator at the College of Southern Idaho. And she's going to share a little bit about workforce development programs and short-term training programs that your students might be interested in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. So what I first wanted to do is go over what we do at our center, what we offer, how our center works, and then what I'll do is briefly go over our website so that everybody knows how to navigate around our website. If you are interested in registering one of your students, you have an idea of how to do that, what funding opportunities we have that are available. But the first I want to talk about is our mission. So we truly believe that everyone deserves to thrive. So we have in our center, we meet with employers and individuals and basically our community to determine training programs that are needed, all the way from courses that are 2 hours long to apprenticeship programs that are 4 years long. So we believe in the success of the Magic Valley, and we are continually are working on new programs to offer the community, as well as apprenticeship programs. So we help local employers. We provide training programs where an individual can gain the skills that they need to get the job that they want. And I won't read everything through it, but it gives you an idea of how we offer affordable trainings. We offer specific career certifications if someone is looking to get into the workforce and find jobs that meet their current skill set. Some of the common course topics, and when we look at the website, you'll be able to see that we offer business and professional development, industrial, safety and compliance. And these are some of the more popular programs that we offer or courses that we offer, but certainly we have others that are available and are constantly adding new ones based on the demand and need in our community. We also have a health workforce courses, which are definitely popular. One of the very new apprenticeship programs that we are offering our students is a healthcare apprenticeship pathway. It's something that is brand new. We've already started our pilot program, and this is a program where a CNA, typically when a student has gone through a CNA program, the next step for them is perhaps nursing. Well, now there's a different pathway through apprenticeship opportunity where they can go on to advanced CNA and specialize in mental health, restorative health. There's a lot of different directions that they can go as far as healthcare apprenticeships. But some of our health workforce courses are available. If you see pharmacy technician, it can be offered as a workforce course, or it can be offered as a degree seeking program. And really that's become our goal here at CSI is it doesn't have to be when a student is looking for a specific career focus And a lot of times our mindset, including ours here at CSI, was, well, if you're on the degree side, then you don't need workforce, and vice versa. Well, if you need workforce, you don't need CSI. And now we're combining those and saying you can do both, and most likely you'll need both at some point. And so you can still get a degree, you can still get a certification, and it enhances your career opportunities. So really working together here at CSI to combine both of those and say, if you take one of our courses, this can apply towards your degree in so many credits. So we're definitely moving forward with some of those opportunities, which I'm really excited about, and changing the mindset of the community to say workforce is just as important to have a specific career certification, which brings me into the apprenticeship courses. And we have electrical, plumbing, maintenance, machine operator, talked a little bit about the healthcare pathway as well. Our electrical and plumbing are very, very popular programs. They're preparing students to become electricians and plumbers and licensed through the state of Idaho. We offer these programs 100% online, as well as a hybrid option where they attend classes face-to-face once a week. We have a brand new maintenance program, apprenticeship program that will be starting in the January of 2023. And most recently, we started about 3 weeks ago, we started our very first machine operator school to registered apprenticeship program, which is specifically for high school students. We partnered with Jerome High School through their work-based learning program, and we had a group of students start this program where they will go through, juniors and seniors can participate, they can go through 2 years of training, and we place them at companies that we've contracted with. So we're basically sponsoring these students to learn a career path or have a career pathway, learn about a career while they're still in high school. Electrical and plumbing, they can also participate at the age of 16. So these are opportunities for students to get a head start. Even if they continue on to a degree pathway, this is a great start for someone who says, I really don't know what I want to do, but I know I need to work while I'm in high school. Just like I did, this is a great opportunity for them to have the opportunity to have a livable wage while they're in high school. With our programs, with our apprenticeship programs, I just wanted to mention, we do offer, and when I was talking earlier about the opportunity to have a degree pathway, about 3 years ago with our electrical and plumbing, if a student graduated and spent 4 years here at CSI to get this training through apprenticeship, they were not able to transfer any degree or credits towards their degree, and that has since changed. So now a student can graduate from either of these apprenticeship programs and transfer 45 credits towards their Associates of Applied Science degree, and they're 75% done. So they just have to take 5 courses or 5 classes to get their degree, 15 credits. So it's a really great opportunity for someone who wants this career-focused education as well as a degree, which we think is equally important. So we also do custom training. It's an opportunity for employers to train specific employees on the job for a specific training that they need. So it's something that may be outside of what we're offering. So we offer customized training for companies. And then obviously we have scholarship opportunities and funding opportunities, which I will talk to you about as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to escape this and I'm going to see if I can bring up, do you guys see the website? If you have someone who's interested, you can go to our website at workforce.csi.edu. And we have different tiles. So apprenticeship, business professional, computer technology, healthcare, trades and safety, professional development for educators. And you can basically click on any of these. If there's something specific that a student is looking into, you can click and see the various courses that we offer. We have courses, like I said, that range anywhere from 2 hours to 4 years, like our apprenticeship programs. Some of our apprenticeship programs are 2 years, some are 4 years. So it really varies on the type of training that a student is looking for. So if you go to the top, you can see apprenticeships, custom training, and workforce trainings. And if you want to see all upcoming courses, you can click on that. Apprenticeships, register now. We still have registration open for a few of our classes. And you'll also see the register now button on most of our pages for many of our courses. If you don't see a date, you can always give us a call. We're happy to help. As you look at financial resources, one of the things that we offer our students in refer is Idaho Launch, which I know we're going to talk about today, but we have really encouraged students to apply for that. And we actually list on the website all of the Idaho Launch approved courses so that a student knows what courses are approved and available for a student. So you can see we have quite a few of those listed here. So that's the financial that we offer our students. You can see our team here. So we do have training specialists, we have healthcare, we have Janet Preddy, who's our Senior Director, Workforce and Economic Development. If you ever needed to contact any one of us, we are happy to work with you, answer questions, help a student get started. All of us here are passionate about helping a student get to the next level or get from point A to point B.
Perfect. CSI may not be in your region, and that may not be where your students would access workforce development training programs, but most of our local community colleges, as well as ISU College of Technology and Lewis Clark State College of Technology, offer a lot of these workforce development programs as well. So this is from the Next Steps Idaho website. So if you're sitting down with a student and the student says, I want to do a CNA program, it's really easy from the Next Steps Idaho website under our training directory. You can, if a student says CNA, that would be in the healthcare field. So you can actually filter by different categories of different training programs. And then it'll list all the different community colleges that are in the area that offer healthcare workforce training programs. All right, we will move on to our next panelist. We have Angie LeBlanc, and I think Tim was able to make it. Okay.
There you go, perfect. So we're going to just quickly start off with a quick video of a series that we were able to do over the summer. That it's going to be kind of out on our social media platforms that you can kind of be on the lookout for, and then we'll introduce ourselves after that. I don't hear any volume. Okay, I guess maybe we'll stop the video and just go right into the presentation.
Is it not working?
Yeah, but again, it'll be in our on our social media platforms, and so just be on the lookout for that. We're really trying to be intentional in how we communicate apprenticeship opportunities throughout the state. And we'll kind of talk a bit about that as we go through that to touch on some of the successes that we've had over the last several months. If I may say so, we've made an impact, and we're really proud of that, and we're continuing to work towards that. Stephanie from CSI, our friend over there, has already kind of touched a bit on apprenticeship and the importance of it, and the fact that there is really a huge apprenticeship ecosystem in Idaho. So we're not going to do like a deep dive in like what apprenticeship is and like all that stuff, because that's really been touched on several times throughout this webinar. But let's kind of talk specific about our program and some of the different unique things that we can do within that ecosystem. So, as you know, the concept of apprenticeship started basically in 1937. So it's been around a while, but it's interesting like how like one of my favorite quotes when it comes to apprenticeship is the fact that there's lots of employers that are posting positions on Indeed or Monster or LinkedIn or any of those platforms, and that's basically using yesterday's solution for today's problem, when tomorrow's solution for today's problem is something that was invented in 1937. I truly feel that apprenticeship is one of the most major tools in resolving this crazy workforce crisis that we're seeing. So let's talk a bit about that a bit. So on the national scale, there's 11.3 million open jobs. For every 59 people that are gainfully employed, there's over 100 job openings. And that's happening where employers are competing with other employers in the same space and sort of a vacuum, where they're basically just trying to offer that employee with that skill set $1 more an hour so that they can come over to this employer across the street, and these employers are just basically competing for the same people. But what we're trying to help employers understand and kind of do a paradigm shift with them is to help them understand that apprenticeship is a way to intentionally build your workforce in a proactive way. And that Idaho youth is definitely a solution to their problems of finding people with a certain skill set that they need for their open jobs. And within that ecosystem and using the community colleges and high schools and the conjunction of both is really the way to do that. So there's over 1,200 different occupations. So pretty much any job that an employer is trying to fill, they can use apprenticeship as the tool to fill those jobs. And, you know, just to really emphasize, there's also a national credential they get at the other end of the apprenticeship that it's something that they can put on the wall and frame as this accomplishment. So we're pretty big on that. And before you get to the next slide and have Angie kind of introduce herself, right now in the state of Idaho, and Andrew, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe we have 94 apprentices spread over 27 employers, and we have been able to help develop 39 new apprenticeship programs throughout the state. Our completion rate as it stands now is 98%. So like the proof is in the pudding. We have actual numbers that would show that this has been an incredible success, and we'll kind of talk about some specific stories and success stories that we progress. So with that, Andrea, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Yeah, so the next slide that we'll just briefly discuss, like Tim mentioned, there's over 1,200 different occupations. One thing that we focused on, as all of you know, is the teacher shortage that is widespread throughout the state of Idaho. These are some of the schools that we've been working really closely with and developing that talent pipeline to really use their internal workforce for teachers, aides, support specialists. So that would be like the parapro positions, which are really difficult to attract and to retain different people. So that's been one thing that's been really positive for IBE, because that's just like it's untouched. People aren't applying, they're not getting anyone for those positions, and it's a need that needs to be filled to help students to further their education. And like Tim mentioned, working like even with the local colleges, they can capture those students at a younger age, and then we can just kind of take the baton and keep helping them to expand with those apprenticeships. So it's really important to have those collaborations and those connections to work really in tandem to reach as many students as we can and to help them, to give them many options, because we know that success rate of the go on rate is not the greatest for our state, and we want to give them another option to be successful.
Yeah, you know, I want to touch on, I had an opportunity to meet 3 apprentices in the Napa School District last week, and they're in the HP Help Desk Apprenticeship Program. And so like these are juniors and seniors, so 2 juniors and 1 senior, and the incredible sense of pride that they have, that they are working towards accomplishing something and starting their career when they're 16 or 17 years old was just so inspiring. So these are 3 students that you know, this is something they're interested in. They, you know, they kind of want to go into the career of something within the IT cybersecurity realm. And this is just a perfect start for them, where they're actually physically working on refurbishing computers over the course of the summer to start with the new school year, and they're working throughout the school year. And they have like certain periods of the day in which that's what they do, is they're fixing whatever computers that need to be fixed, or helping students with specific issues that they have, you know, login issues, their emails and stuff like that. And all 3 students are now also taking classes at CWI to continue their education beyond what they're learning within the actual apprenticeship. So it's just it's a perfect picture of why apprenticeship is a tool where it's addressing Napa High School's needs when it comes to they have not been able to find anybody to fill those positions, but they're benefiting their students in a way that's going to last them the rest of their lives, and you get the national credential. Really, there's nothing that we could even look at as just being like a bad thing. It's like such a perfect situation, and that's what we're seeing across the board throughout all of these schools. And we have Tuna High School, Twin Falls High School, and there's a couple other world schools that are looking and doing this right now. So next year when we do this presentation with our list of in-school apprenticeship programs, it's going to be even bigger.
Yeah, so Tim, you briefly mentioned some of the student benefits. So these are just kind of some of the educator and counselor benefits. One great thing about IBE is that we're there to support educators and counselors. We have a pamphlet specifically for counselors that we can share that will kind of give you a greater context as far as how that process works with all of the contact info. It's just a one-page a slide that we'll be happy to share with that. But it reinforces that classroom learning, right? Because they're getting that related technical and structure. But it's also introducing them to those real life experiences and even like that networking, which is a huge aspect for students. They don't know really where to start, but they're getting into these jobs, they're meeting people, and they're learning all of these great things working in tandem with that mentor, that one-on-one. And it creates that talent pipeline for the employers directly with the school districts. Like Tim mentioned, in the Twin Falls area specifically, we work with the Twin Falls High School, and they've been able to capture 3 employers. They have about 23 students ready to feed into that program as a result. So whereas students maybe didn't have like the desire to go on to school, this is giving them that option and a livable wage to provide. And who knows, they might change their mind, but it's giving them that talent that will stay with them for the rest of their life.
We just really want to make sure that we're presenting ourselves as a resource when it comes to I think that like there's so many people throughout the state and really throughout the country that have that kind of a high level understanding and overview of what an apprenticeship is. But like if we want to present ourselves as a resource to really help you understand the granular details of it, and to really kind of build on the success that we're seeing throughout the state. We're kind of like we've become a bit of a national model for like how we are approaching this, and so like we just want to keep going. We want to keep growing this thing. We want to like if you are of a particular school that wants to get into the space more, we are the resource to help you with that. We pride ourselves in being the connector between local employers and the school. And then when it comes to in-school apprenticeship programs, it's become a state model. It's a national model, but we're really kind of growing it here in the state. So yes, and there's a couple of questions that came up here that we can read here. Thanks, Annie. And then yes, you can reach out to us in regards to if you have a student that's interested in an apprenticeship. So Angie, as you can see in that last slide, Angie covers the Twin Falls region. I have Treasure Valley, and then we have 2 counterparts in Northern Idaho and Eastern Idaho. But you can reach out to one of us, and if you're not in a region, we'll connect you to the right person. But yeah, we just want to be a resource to all of you.
Right. And Lisa, we work with the employers as well as the students, and we're kind of that intermediary for everybody. So you can reach out to us, and we talk and we collaborate all the time. So if it's not my region, I can reach out to Tim or Christina or Roger, and we'll get you in contact with the appropriate people. So yep, absolutely. I guess all you want.
Thank you both so much. That was awesome. Last but not least, we have Katie Solis from the, oh no, she is not from IBE. I'm sorry, I did not update my slide very well, Katie. She is from the Idaho Workforce Development Council. Get that fixed, sorry, Katie. And she is going to talk to you about the Idaho Launch Program.
Great. Thank you so much, Jenny. Yes, I'm Katie Solis. I'm the Chief Communications and Operations Officer for the Idaho Workforce Development Council. And one of our programs that we don't have a lot of programs internally, but one of our programs that we do think is quite special is Idaho Launch. And Idaho Launch is a financial assistance program that can help Idaho residents pay for short-term workforce training. We are dabbling in some for credit, but that hasn't rolled out yet. But the majority of the focus of Idaho Launch is paying for those workforce training programs that employers in Idaho have requested. So let me tell you a little bit about the program, and I will show you the site as well so that we can dive into that. One of the things we love about Idaho Launch is that it's really open. You know, the council itself, which is a 37-member employer majority council, all governor appointed. One of the things that they wanted to really prioritize was that we don't know what people's barriers might be. And, you know, the important part is that we get them in these programs that we know lead to employment. So in order to be a participant in Idaho Launch, all you have to do is be an Idaho resident, and you have to plan to use the benefit to work in Idaho. So we do an employment check a year after the participant finishes their training. And we require them to sign a contract that says they will work in Idaho for 1 year. There is no age restriction on Idaho Launch. So this is something that a high school student or someone who would be graduating soon could use. The one caveat to that information that I would give is that if they are under 18, it has to be their parents that sign the contract. They're unable to contract as an individual. So then their parents do take on that financial liability if their student is unable to finish the program, or if their student decides to leave the state after taking the program. So Idaho Launch can cover up to 90% of approved costs. So that's mostly tuition costs. It doesn't pay for tools or those types of things. For approved programs. The max benefit that somebody can take out is $7,500, and it's a once in a lifetime benefit. So this is something I would emphasize for those who are advising younger participants is Idaho Launch is a huge benefit. $7,500 can cover the cost of a lot of those workforce training programs. But it is once in a lifetime. So, you know, if this is something that they're maybe not sure of, it might be something that you might advise them against using for a less expensive program. But for those individuals who need to take a couple of years and figure out what they want to do, or they have an idea of what they want to do, this is a great thing to jump right into. Another thing that I would let you know about is their contracts can include more than one course. So as long as it makes sense as a career plan, we can contract them for all 4 years of an apprenticeship. We can also add different programs, such as, you know, for instance, some people who are taking our CDL program want to add accounting on there so that they have the ability to run their own trucks later. I just actually had a story from a mother-daughter who have both signed up for a plumbing apprenticeship. The daughter is, she is 16, I believe, going on 17. And they want to do this plumbing apprenticeship together and then work together, which I think is just so cool. All right, if you want to go on to the next slide there. So how do we decide what courses are available in Idaho Launch? I'll show you where you can see all the courses when I go and show you the site. But we ran a large scale employer survey. In 2020, we ran one, we got 845 responses across all industries. We asked them to identify skills that they would be hiring for in the near future. We matched those up with training that was available at the public institution workforce training centers, and then found private providers for those skills that they could not provide courses for. And we have the policy committee approves each course individually that will be selected for launch based on that criteria. Or, if there is another strategic workforce need, they have the ability to do that as well. We just updated the survey in 2022, and we doubled our responses across all industries statewide. And this time we also had them evaluate the courses that had been approved to see if those would make a difference in their hiring processes. So our goal is to really provide quality programs that employers will hire for. Right? So just to give you an idea of the kinds of programs that Idaho Launch is funding right now, this is as of June, the breakup of the individuals that have gone through Idaho Launch and contracted. You'll see that about half of them there are in that transportation section. Those are almost all CDL, so commercial driver's license certifications that people are going through. I do want to point out this little section here, education. There are a couple of programs that are approved through Idaho Launch. The CSI non-traditional education route is approved through Idaho Launch. So that's for individuals who are working within a school and enroll in that program and can find a pathway within their current job to get that teaching credential, and that is approved through Launch. So please share the word about that if you have somebody in your school that might be interested. Okay, and I think with that, I'm going to try and take you to the site and see if that works. I'm hoping that you are seeing Idaho Launch. Jenny?
We are, yes.
Yay. Okay. So a couple of things that I'll show you real quick. IdahoLaunch.com is the site that you want to remember. If you remember nothing else, if you are looking to help a student sign up for Idaho Launch, in every right-hand corner of this site, there is a block that says apply for training funds. So you will never get too far away from the next step. All you need to fill out is their full name, their email, their zip code. If someone in their household experienced unemployment during COVID-19, that's so we can identify funding sources, and then hit apply for funding. What happens to that individual once they hit that apply for funding is their information is routed directly to a career planner at Idaho Department of Labor, who we've contracted to work with them. They talk about their career goals, and the career planner assists them with contracting for Idaho Launch. Speaking of that 10% that the individual is responsible for, we do not care where that comes from. That can come from anywhere. That can come from the student, that can come from their employer, that can come from any source. So if they have additional funds, if they have a scholarship, that can come from anywhere. In order to see what training is available through Idaho Launch, you simply go to the hamburger menu, click Browse Training, and without doing any filters, you will see a complete list listed by provider of all of the programs that have been approved through Idaho Launch. So this is the best way to see the comprehensive list of what's available in Idaho Launch. You do have the ability to select region. So if you want to filter by your region, I will say a lot of the programs that are available in Idaho Launch are online programs, so they can be completed anywhere. But you also have the ability to filter by industry, by skill, by quality. Those are like our professional skills or soft skills, or to filter by school. The other thing that I want to point out to everyone on this call is there is another opportunity that's available that we are connecting individuals to through Idaho Launch. There were a number of school skills listed by employers, and you can see the list, the current list of skills that were identified by employers here in this Skill Sync tab. There were a number of skills that were identified by employers that there were only programs that matched up to shorter, cheaper options as far as training goes. And the council did not want individuals to necessarily use their one lifetime benefit on $100 or $200 course. And so we have partnered with Equus, one of our workforce partners, to be able to provide any Idahoan in the state a free LinkedIn Learning account. So this is something that you would be eligible for as well as your students, as long as you're an Idaho resident. And all you have to do to access that is click this link right here under LinkedIn Learning. It will take you to this external link right here. You fill out just a quick little information sheet, hit apply, and then it's not instantaneous. Someone actually on the back end has to sign you up. So it can take a couple of days. We really cut down the time on how long it takes. But then you have access to everything that's in LinkedIn Learning, which is thousands of courses. So I would recommend that that is a resource that you can share with staff. That is a resource that you can use yourself. That is a resource that if you have students who are exploring different career paths, they can get started there as well. So again, that's a completely free resource. It does not use your Idaho Launch benefit. But you can see all of the other ones that do, that are still listed here on this training page. If you are looking to get the word out about Idaho Launch to some of your teachers or to some of your students, we have put together a toolkit that has downloadable outreach materials. You can print posters, you can print flyers, we've got emails that you could send out, we've got social media assets, a video that you can show, or quick copyable content that you can throw at the end of an email.
Thank you, Katie. I think, Lisa, that Sarah just put the link to the toolkit in the chat. Hopefully you can see that link. Again, we will definitely send out all these resources that were mentioned today in our follow-up email. But yeah, when I had learned about Launch, I felt like it was a game changer. I've been able to help some people access Launch, and it's just such a cool program. And I can say that from experience that the people who are signing up for Launch, they get contacted pretty quickly. The contract gets written quickly. Like it's not a long, arduous process. So
question for Katie in the chat. Katie, could you explain a little bit more about the educational options that are covered by Idaho Launch? Is that for current teachers?
Yeah, so current teachers are definitely eligible if they're Idaho residents to use any of the programs through Idaho Launch. The teacher education program that I mentioned it's actually called the Non-Traditional Educator Preparation Program. That's out of College of Southern Idaho. And I was going to see if I could, you can find that if you just go to that training page and search non-traditional educator, that should come right up.
And then I just wanted to show the pie chart one last time, just in case anybody wanted to snap a quick picture or just check and see. What we just wanted to kind of end with another Slido poll. I know that was a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So keep in mind, I am sure you're going to need to digest a little bit of this information and do a little bit more digging. But after today, just kind of gauging, and it's okay, be honest, just sort of how confident you feel about helping students access these programs that you learned about today. So the workforce training programs, the apprenticeship programs through IBE, and then Idaho Launch. If you can go back to that Slido, if you still have the page open from the first one, it should move you on to the second question. Or you can, again, scan the QR code or go to the website so that you're able to answer that question. And that is all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you learned a lot, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.